Though the royal pair are hopeful their efforts will result in a positive change, British journalist, and frequent critic of Markle and Prince Harry, Piers Morgan wasn't so optimistic. In Piers Morgan's most recent piece for his New York Post column Piers Morgan Uncensored, the 56-year-old shared his take on the Joe Rogan controversy. Morgan reveals that he regularly listens to the Joe Rogan Experience and labels it a brilliantly freewheeling, wide-ranging, sometimes combative, always fascinating series of conversations with people from all walks of life who hold all manner of opinions. Aside from using his column to defend Rogan, the political pundit ended his piece with an attack on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Morgan began by accusing the royals of attempting to suppress Rogan's civil right to free speech. He then said, "I wouldn't trust Meghan Princess Pinocchio Markle, who last year pressured UK company ITV to fire me for calling out her lies, to make me a cup of tea, let alone preach to the world about truth and honesty." After calling Markle and Prince Harry hypocritical, he urged Spotify to end their partnership. Morgan closed, "Spotify should do us all a favor by tearing up Meghan and Harry's contract and giving their money to Joe Rogan for more of his shows." Comedian Joe Rogan has recently come under fire for repeatedly spreading false information about COVID-19 and the vaccine on his popular Spotify podcast The Joe Rogan Experience, via CNN. The controversy began when musicians Neil Young and Joni Mitchell asked the streaming giant to remove their music from the platform because of Rogan's inaccurate claims. In addition to artists taking a stand against the Joe Rogan Experience, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have asked Spotify to address the COVID-19 misinformation on the podcast, via People. The pair currently has a podcast deal with Spotify, which will entail the Duke and Duchess of Sussex hosting and producing original podcasts over the next few years. A spokesperson for their foundation, Archewell, revealed that its co-founders have been fighting against the spread of false claims about the pandemic on Spotify for a while. Their statement read, "Last April, our co-founders began expressing concerns to our partners at Spotify about the all-too-real consequences of COVID-19 misinformation on its platform." The statement closed, "We look to Spotify to meet this moment and are committed to continuing our work together as it does." Controversial Joe Rogan mimicked the Queen's voice and called Meghan Markle a little American hussy who would make Prince Harry a Kardashian in an unearthed podcast episode. This has resulted in Harry and Meghan weighing in, with the couple releasing a statement saying that they would continue working with the streaming service. However, with Harry having been publicly critical of the impact of internet trolls in the past, the statement also acknowledged the work they had been doing to tackle a global misinformation crisis. Some fans were unhappy with this response, claiming they saw the Sussexes as hypocrites for failing to cancel their reportedly lucrative deal with Spotify. Now, an unearthed podcast episode has drawn a link between Rogan and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex before the pandemic had even begun. In an old episode, Joe and his guest were speaking shortly after Harry and Meghan had abdicated their royal responsibilities in early 2020. Discussing the news, Rogan mimicked a spoof of the Queen's voice, saying, "It's that little American hussy he's hooked up with. She's going to turn him into a Kardashian. That little American hussy has ruined my prince." The host and his guest Mike Baker went on to chat about how the royals are funded in the UK and commented on where Harry and Meghan might end up, having stepped down from royal duties. This comes as royal commentators have been speculating over what the next move for Harry and Meghan's podcast production might be.